Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of Swap to Godly. Well, last episode we ended off at level 60, but I took the opportunity and grinded off camera, and let's just say I've gotten a lot of warrior loot. I've also dropped a crystallized greatsword right after it ended off last video, and also I've also gotten some spells we can use. We have the ground slam we can use. Anyways, I'm gonna hop straight into the video. Well, I know most of you guys are saying, why not check your daily? Well, the reason why I'm not checking my daily is because we're level 62, and we're about to level up, so we're gonna hit level 63. And in this episode, we're gonna try to hit Nightmare, so I want to save my daily as much as possible, so then when I get to Nightmare, I will have enough loot. I will have Nightmare loot already waiting for me in daily. So since I couldn't drop a warrior helmet, I'm gonna be using the Ice King Guardian helmet. Since it's also a hybrid, you can max it out on physical power or on spell power. I already maxed this Ice King Warrior armor, so I'm just gonna max this Ice King Warrior helmet. There we go, and we also dropped a crystallized greatsword. I took a lot of our gold, but that was worth it. Since now we have a good sword. Now I'm going to take off all my previous armor and I'm going to equip our new armor. We also have the double ground slam, so now I'm going to reset all my points. There we go. And now I'm going to sell all my previous loot that I do not need for this dungeon. I am going to keep my previous weapon because I might need it for healing. Since I have Aura of Life, I don't really need Rejuvenating Spray. I'm also gonna sell all these things from the old dungeon. And there we go, we have a clean inventory now. Besides these spare weapons I do not need. There we go, we cleared our inventory. Now let's test our DPS now for this dungeon. Well, I'm just gonna test how much damage we do with Sword Swing. We do around 14 to 16k with a Sword Swing. And for the ground slam, we can't really test it currently. So we're gonna be grinding until Nightmare, so let's start off with our first dungeon of this episode. Also, if you guys don't know how to, I heard that a lot of people are having trouble with the second boss of Pirate Island. For the second boss in Pirate Island, I will show you guys how to beat it. But first, we're gonna have to beat the first few mobs and also the first boss. The first boss is mainly RNG based since you can't really tell where it's gonna put down its explosives. Seems like we aren't loading into the dungeon, so... Oh wait, we are loading into the dungeon. Anyways, for what I was saying, the first boss is mainly RNG based, the second boss is... There's a little strat to beat the second boss, the Spider Queen. And since I'm using a Guardian helmet, I can take a few hits from the mobs because the mobs do around 200 damage per hit. And since we have double ground slam now, we can do lots of damage. And we also have a full maxed out warrior set. For the first group of mobs, we can use double ground slam and we will instant kill them. Also, you can use double ground slam at the same time and it will one-shot the mobs. As you can see, double ground slam can one-shot the mobs. That's why grinding for ground slam was a good idea before I hopped into Pirate Island. As you can see, the circles are basically RNG. We do around 300k with both of our ground slams. Now that we've defeated the first boss, we're heading to this room. This room is one of the most riskiest rooms because there are two groups of mobs and there's also a group of mobs there, so what you want to do is hit them with both your ground slams and then you gather them up and then you hit them again. We're about to level up to level 63, which is good. Also, sometimes the ground slam doesn't register on all the mobs, so you might have a few mobs that might have slipped past your abilities. In my opinion, doing Winter Outpost is more efficient than grinding Pirate Island because Winter Outpost is a short map and Pirate Island takes way too long to do. So what you want to do for this boss is there's going to be a little crack on the side, and most players, if you play Dungeon Quest for a really long time, must know this, because when Pirate Island came out, everyone was struggling on the Spider Queen. So what you want to do is make sure you're standing along this line, like around this wall, and as you can see there's a little crack, and you won't get hit by the boss. Also, the mobs there won't detect you. And then now you can finish the boss off now. Also, make sure you guys bring the right amount of HP for this dungeon because if you do that, and sometimes when you do that, when you hug the wall and stuff, it doesn't work. So you might want to bring some extra HP if you're gonna take some damage. We are now coming up to the second last room. As you can see, since I have Guardian armor, they don't do that much damage, but make sure you don't get hit by too many mobs. We're also gonna have to save our gold because in Nightmare all the stuff is gonna be really expensive. Also including the Soul Stealer Greatsword and the Staff of Gods if we even drop one. So since there's one Pirate Savage and you want to save your time, you want to bring the Pirate Savage up here and then kill it, and then as soon as you kill it, the gates will open and you'll get a few free hits on the demonic pirate captain. As you can see, he's standing still and you can get a free hit on him. Also, make sure you keep walking for this part or else you get hit. I want to keep walking straight so you avoid that attack. And as you can see, the mock pirate captain's already pretty low. Looks like we've dropped some mage armor and a warrior weapon. I'm not gonna upgrade the warrior weapon because it's lower. Its potential is much lower than my crystalline greatsword. Anyways, since we didn't get really anything good from that dungeon, we're gonna do another pirate island. But let's check. Oh, there is a person. Since this person is level 61, I can join their dungeon since they haven't unlocked the next dungeon yet. And I'm gonna check what gear they have first before doing the dungeon. Looks like they left. I'm gonna find any level 61s that want to do a dungeon with me. A lot of people here are really low level, so I don't think that there's any people that are around the same level as me besides this person. This person's like level 62. I think this person might be a guardian. But all their stats are on physical, so that means they're a guardian. Anyways, I'm gonna do another solo dungeon. I know that grinding wave defense is much quicker, but I want to get as much gold and also some better loot so we can do nightmare in case we don't get anything good from daily. As you can see, the ground slams can one-shot the mobs if you use both of them at the same time. But sometimes they don't register the attack, so you might need to use it again. Also, these ground slams have a really low cooldown, a 4-second cooldown, compared to the fireball, which has a 9-second cooldown. The ground slams have under the ground slams, you can use them almost 2 times. So that's why I prefer ground slam than arcane barrage. There we go, we got past the first boss. Now we're coming down here to the next group of mobs. The fireball would be really good for these group of mobs because like in Winter Outpost, like when there's 2 groups of mobs you can just gather them up and then you can fireball. But since we're a warrior, we can't do that. So we're gonna have to use our abilities to attack. And as you can see, they do 400 damage, which has done not that much damage since I'm wearing a guardian helmet, but if I was full warrior, if I had a warrior helmet and that hit me, that would do a lot of damage. Make sure you always stand as far away as possible so that you don't get hit by the mobs there. As you can see, if you stand far away, you won't get their aggro. Wow, that did almost half my HP with those two pirate savages hitting me. Also, since I'm using a crystalline greatsword, I can just switch to my Aura of Life and heal since the crystallized greatsword is a hybrid weapon. There we go, we beat Pirate Island again. And this time we got a Arcane Orb Staff and we also got a Stone Strong Sword, which is not as good as my Crystalline Greatsword, so I'm not going to be upgrading. There are a lot of people that are in Pirate Island, so I might join them, but they haven't created yet. So first I'm just gonna sell all my trash that I got that I do not need for this dungeon. I'm gonna sell the Pirate King Mage Robe since it has no use to me since I'm a warrior. And I'm gonna continue grinding. I'm gonna first check if there's anyone doing. Looks like no one's doing pirate, so I'm gonna do pirate solo again. When we hit Nightmare, we're gonna have the enchanting spinning blades, which are gonna be really helpful. But I feel like sticking to the ground slam would be more better because we don't have to worry about overtime damage. Each group of mobs give around 2,000 EXP, about 3,000 actually. There we go, first boss down. So far we haven't dropped any useful warrior loot that we could use. But that's fine because we already two-shot with ground samurai. We already one cycle. We're already at half EXP, so a few more dungeons and we should be able to hit level 64. Also, when we're swapping when we hit King's Castle, the Phantom Flames and the Firebomb are going to be really useful since when we do Nightmare, we can have a possibility of getting Phantom Flames or Pulse Fire. Pulse Fire was a decent spell, but it isn't as good as Firebomb and Phantom Flames. But if we get Pulse Fire, we could use that in King's Castle. But I most likely suggest using Phantom Flame since it has a bigger, it's basically like a rectangle. It has the width is bigger, has long width, and it also has the length of it is really good. So it's really good for far range as well. As you can see, we're already doing around a fifth of the Pirate Captain's HP. Actually, a quarter of it. So if we got a weapon upgrade or an armor upgrade, we could probably four-shot this boss. I mean, four-cycle this boss. There we go. We got no upgrade. So far we've been getting mage staffs, but we haven't dropped any warrior armor. So hopefully we can drop some warrior armor so we can use in Nightmare. But it wouldn't really matter since when we hit Nightmare we can just check our daily. Now that we're gonna do another dungeon. Sadly, I didn't have luck in Winter Outpost to actually drop an Ice King Warrior helmet because I kept getting Ice King Guardian helmet, and I also kept getting a lot of Mage staffs and Warrior loot, Warrior swords. So that's why I'm currently rocking with the Ice King Guardian helmet, which is still pretty good. It's just that its potential, aka pot, is 2 times less than what a purple Ice King Warrior helmet would be. As you can see, my Warrior chestplate is 2 times better than my helmet. So if I had a Warrior helmet, it would make it so that we could four-shot the boss about. Anyways, we also have 2.8 million gold, so I'm pretty sure that's enough gold to upgrade our armor when we hit Nightmare, which is good. As you can see, the circles with RNG, and that would have killed me if I didn't turn around. We're really close to leveling up, so after this dungeon, we should be able to hit level 64. As you can see, we easily did the boss with that glitch, or as you can say, strat. Now we're level 64 now, so after one more level up, we can do Nightmare. Which is kind of sad because like I spent a while from getting this warrior loot so we could actually do Pirate Island. And we're already about to hit Nightmare. There we go, we're at the Demonic Pirate Captain now. There we go. We've gotten a better weapon. The Empowered Crystal Blade. The Empowered Crystal Blade is the best weapon for Insane for warriors, but I'm not gonna upgrade it yet because we're level 64 and I could drop a better weapon in Nightmare, so I'm not gonna waste my cash since I can already two-shot and it doesn't really matter if I upgrade it because the outcome wouldn't change, I still would two-shot. So anyways, I'm just gonna keep doing insane runs until I get to level 65. When we get to King's Castle, Mage is gonna be really good because of the Firebomb and the Skull Flames. But when we get to Underworld, we're gonna have some problems since the Rending Slices don't really do as much damage as the Skull Flames, aka Phantom Flames. So during King's Castle, I'm gonna have to grind a lot since I want the best possible loot so I can beat Underworld. We're already a quarter of the way to leveling up, so after around 3 more dungeons, we could level up. we got a Guardian helmet and a Mage helmet. We got 2 helmets, but they're not going to be as of much help to us since we are a warrior. I'm not going to upgrade the Guardian helmet that we just dropped, since we might drop something better from daily. We're going to continue doing Pirate Insane. As you can see, a lot of people are using Ground Slam, especially this person, since Ground Slam is like a really good spell to use, especially for low level players like me. As you can see, we got through the first room pretty smoothly. Now we're heading up to the boss, first boss. We're halfway to leveling up now. We can hit level 65 this episode. As you can see, I didn't do it correctly and now I'm about to die. Now I'm gonna have to hide in this thing. As you can see, that was a close encounter since I'm at 400 HP and I'm about to die, so make sure you guys do the glitch correctly, because if you don't do it correctly, that's what's gonna happen. Now I'm gonna heal up and then I'm gonna continue the dungeon. go, we're on the last boss now. You've gotten a Guardian helmet and a Molten Blade. It's not as good as the Empowered Crystal Blade that we dropped, since the Empowered Crystal Blade is the best weapon in Pirate Island for warriors. We're gonna continue grinding Pirate Island. We're really close. About 2 more dungeons and we're gonna level up. We've also got 3.57 million gold, which is a lot of gold, so we're probably gonna have enough cash to max out our gear and also our weapon. As you can see, we're about to level up, so after one more dungeon, we're gonna be level 65. There we go. We still haven't gotten any warrior armor, so I'm hoping that for daily, we get something good. This is gonna be our last dungeon run until we can finally do Nightmare. We're about to level up, so after we're finished this room, we're gonna be able to level up. There we go, we're level 65 now. I'm still gonna complete this dungeon in case we get any warrior loot, because if we don't get anything helpful from daily, we're gonna have to continue grinding insane. Oh, that is a lot of damage. So be careful when you're rushing in, because if those guys like stack on you, you're pretty much dead, because they do a lot of damage. As you can see, I almost died from that attack. We got Universal Heal. Universal Heal is a pretty underrated spell, but some people use it to when they're carrying multiple accounts. So, I mean, it's an okay spell. Now that we're in Nightmare, we can now check our daily now. Now, since we're level 65, we can now check our daily. As you can see, we've gotten Warrior Armor. Good thing I didn't upgrade any of this armor. Now that I have some Warrior Armor, I'm gonna max it out now. It has around 400 more DPS, and it also gives us a major HP boost. The Infernal Plate armor has more than the Ice Guardian helmet, which is pretty good. Now that we have 4k HP now, we can now sell our old. Actually, not sell, but I'm gonna keep that. Now that we have the Molten Blade, Arcane Orb Staff, all of this is pretty useless. I'm gonna sell all the stuff that I'm not gonna need, so I don't need all of these Guardian helmets. I might keep the Mage helmet though. Now that we have better stuff now, we can upgrade this Devilish Great Axe. Well, the Devilish Great Axe is the 4th best weapon for warriors, which isn't that good, but I mean, it's pretty decent. Okay, now we can max out this Devilish Great Axe, which took almost all our gold. That was an expensive weapon to upgrade. But now this has around 2 times the damage of our old weapon. And since this guy is around my level, we were allowed to do Nightmare Together, since he has unlocked the next dungeon. Let's see. Since this guy is level level 68, we can play together, which is technically not breaking any rules since I am playing with a guy that's around the same level as me. So after I'm done this dungeon, I will be able to get 2 items since this is Nightmare Hardcore. I should have tested out I should have done non-hardcore to test if our DPS is actually good enough to actually one cycle the mobs, but I mean, he did say his DPS was 500k. Also, if you guys always load in first, make sure to not start, because your teammate might not be able to get in time. And since my teammate is wearing full Inferno, actually no, not Inferno, Angelic Plate Guardian Armor, he has 12,000 HP, so he can take more damage than I do because I only have 4,000, so he has 3 times more HP than me. So if you guys are playing as a group, make sure to wait for your teammates because this can mess up your run, because if you start the dungeon without your teammates knowing, then you're pretty much done for. And as you can see, some of the mobs can get a little glitchy sometimes. As you can see, he has the Phantom Flames ability, which is really good for this dungeon. There we go. Now for this boss can potentially one-shot me due to my amount of HP. But since we know the strats, we don't have to worry about dying. As you can see, he did half HP to our teammate, and we barely survived that hit. Now, as you can see, we're gonna have to heal our teammate. There we go. Also, I don't suggest upgrading armor when you get to up to Underworld, because after Underworld, all the armor that's like after Underworld is pretty useless to upgrade, because the stats on that armor are most likely going to be really low, or they're not going to be really high. As you can see, we're entering the boss together. Make sure to enter the boss together, because if you guys don't enter together, you might end up killing each other. As you can see, it only took us 2 cycles to kill the boss. As you can see, since he's taking aggro since he has more HP, so I'm gonna let my teammate go in since he has more HP and can tank more. And then I can come in and deal the rest of the damage. And since my teammate is the main DPS here, since he is done He's done around less damage than me, but he has better gear. Okay, here's the strat. So we both go in together because if one of us goes in front of each other, we can potentially kill each other. That's why walking in on opposite sides makes it better. As you can see, we beat the dungeon. And I've gotten an angelic plate armor, and I also got in a pulse fire. So now I'm gonna end the episode off here, guys. So this is gonna be the end of episode 7 of Swap Till Godly. So see you guys later.